Tom here. Welcome to my channel, Tom Loves DIY. If you spent any time at all on my channel, you've probably noticed that I've made a lot of alcohol burners. More than 24 variations using squirt cheese cans. I've come up with little stoves like this, super efficient, ultra lightweight, and much tougher than those beverage can stoves because this material is about 3 times as thick. My goal was to be able to boil 4 cups of 65-degree water on 1 ounce of alcohol, and I have achieved that. And so one would think I'd be done. But my wife recently gave me these 3 little hairspray, travel size cans, and now that they're empty, I thought these might make a really interesting alcohol stove. So once more into the breach, let's see what comes out. This is going to be a pretty simple build. I'll cut around here, shrink these down a little bit, get them about this big. There's a very small hole in the top. I might have to drill that out a little bit so alcohol can get in there. And I might also put, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 small holes around it to act as burner jets. You know, we'll see. I'm not sure how it's going to come out or if it'll work at all. So I've cut this in half, and it was surprisingly difficult, not because the material is extra thick. It is thin aluminum, 0.34 millimeters approximately. But I think it's because this small diameter made it a challenge. I couldn't do it with my shop scissors. I had to use this. But once I got through, it's pretty obvious that this aluminum is just a nice thickness and will make a really lightweight burner. I'm going to make it about this tall. So I got to clean this up, take out the tube and some of the other stuff, and that'll be the next step. So when I made this one, I had a lot of trouble getting these halves together. I sanded and eventually had to crimp the bottom with a pair of needle nose pliers, like every millimeter going around there, and then I managed to get it together without it doing a lot of damage to the top piece. So for the third one, I'm going to be smarter. I made this little tool. It's just a wood round leftover from using a circle cutter on a piece of 1x, and I've tapered it down so that it fits inside, and all I have to do now is just tap it in there a little bit, making sure I can still get it out, and it will flare this nicely, and it will then fit over the bottom. I've actually also sanded this down and taken the paint off here, and that will make the diameter, the outside diameter of this, just a tiny bit smaller, fraction of a millimeter, of course. But that will put these together. Now I'm going to drill 4 holes in this one. The others were 3 holes, and those were 1/16 of an inch, which is about 1.56 millimeters, if I recall right. This one I'm going to do 1.35 with 4 holes and see how that works out. So basically, just need to put that in, and I'm going to tap it. And that will flare that out. And then I'll just take this out and I'll be good to go. Before I use my little hand drill to put the jet holes in there, I'm taking a nail that I've filed a little bit sharp and marking where the holes go, because otherwise those drill bits tend to skate around a little bit, and I want to make sure that I get those holes as precisely located as possible. Pretty straightforward to do that. Just need to get it lined up on the marks that I've put on and do a little twisting action. Since this is steel and that's aluminum, it's doing the job. So I've got my 1/35 millimeter. I'm going to drill some holes. Try to get it lined up on that mark that I put in. Because the inside of this is sloped, you need to get it started, and then I like to turn it vertical. Because even though the wall is pretty thin, I want the flames to be as compact as possible, and I think by angling that jet hole, that will help a little bit to do that. I start out square to the material, and then as it bites, I tilt it up. Okay. 4 tiny holes. Oh, they look good. Good positioning. I will use a little bit of sandpaper on the inside to take off any burrs that were created by drilling that. So to put this together, first I just start it by hand, and then I'm going to put it in the vise and very carefully squeeze it together. I'll give you a bit of a close-up of that so you can see what's going on. So I squeeze it in a little bit and then rotate it, making sure that it's going in evenly all the way around. And if one side isn't going in as far, you just can put that side in by itself. But generally, when it's fitting together good like this, piece of cake, just push it together. Be very difficult to do by hand, I think, but with the vise, no problem. I'm going to compare that height. Okay, it looks good with just checking it by eye, but I'm going to use the micrometer because I can get like that, you know, a little retentive, if you will. So on this side, I've got 55.1, and on this side, I've got 55.15 at that spot. Not bad, 5/1000ths of a millimeter difference in the height on different sides. And by the way, I use metric a lot because doing things like 64ths of an inch is such a pain. This is easy. Decimals. Check it out. So next, I'm going to do some burn tests on this baby and see how 4 holes at 1.35 millimeters compared to 3 holes at 1.56. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it can make a huge difference. It's been kind of a long build video, so I'm going to do that in a separate video. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, but come back for the burn test. I'm going to do all 3, compare them, maybe draw some conclusions before, I build some more. Thanks for watching.